Alright, Gandhi. So I'm gonna switch you over to Stream Junction just because it's a really big map, really good for Beast. Um, so what you've been doing, and you've been playing Beast a lot, so what you've been doing is essentially just the standard FET 2den, and I love it. I think it's really good on this map. There could be a chance that they'll just proxy 2 racks or something like that against you, and you kind of just do straight up lose to that. Not always, but it's a difficult hole for sure. But yeah, we'll go over what we want to do on this map. So I noticed that you tend to do the 11-11 version, so 11 castle, 11-10, 11-10. I think that's good on most maps, but if you do want to be greedy, this is the map you want to do it on. So I am going to do the 11-11-12, which is a little bit more greedier, but I think it flows a little bit better, and this is our best opportunity to do it, I think. So yeah, I think that's what I would recommend you to do. So Stream Junction, really big map. I think a lot of people will expect you to play Beast, but yeah, we'll see how it goes. I'm sure you're pretty down pat with the build, but I will just show it here as well. I think this should have been a little bit earlier, but no biggie, honestly.
Your command.
And then we'll talk about, I guess, building placement and what we're gonna do on this map.
As you wish, sire.
You're playing against Matthew N, if things aren't changed. And I expect him to play a really just standard Brax kind of thing. So yeah, so what I like to do is I like to rally my 11th worker to get the den out, or to build the den.
Yes.
So there's the den. I am gonna do the variation which is a little bit greedier, a little bit unsafe, but like I said, this map is probably the best map to do it on. So we are gonna go for 12, and then gonna go for our second den.
Yes.
Like so.
Certainly, sir.
So this is, I guess, one thing to note. This is really good because workers are really good, and by having this small choke point over here, you're more likely to get a worker surround just by having a smaller area that enemy units will be funneled into. Yeah, so that's what I would do. We're gonna queue up another worker, and then as soon as we do that, bring 2 workers, rally the next worker in, and then you should have 6 over here, 6 on this side. Right here, so there's a decision that you have to make. It's a small decision. If you do see a unit nearby, go for the wolf first. If you don't, you're just gonna go for the worker first. Small little optimization. Alright. So, we're gonna play standard. This is approximately now is when the first raider would arrive on a really small map. So like Ravaged or Cursed Temple or something like that. But because this is a big map, the raider is probably gonna be a little bit later. This is also probably around where a 2den would hit. No, a 2den or a proxied wolf or something like that would hit a little bit earlier for sure. But yeah, so just something to be aware of timings wise. If a raider hits around here, around 245, 250, then you're it's likely going to be proxied and or something really aggressive. So be aware of that. If it is a double raider, if you do notice that it is a double raider really early on, you can cancel your second den and just tower up. I think that's probably the better solution. But if your den is really close to finishing, like around now, I would just keep it. I would cancel workers and build a tower. I think that's the best way to defend against 2-Rax Raider. Yeah. Of course, let me know if you have any questions. And then we get another worker. And then we're gonna go for
I
more
stand with
wolves.
sire.
So I expect them to play racks, so I would expect them to be like a raider would arrive just about now-ish on this map, I think. So maybe 310, 315-ish. So generally you won't be harassed as much on this map, I think. So you can go for the house on 22, which is, I guess, this is only if you aren't forced to pull workers. If you are forced to pull workers, just go for the house on 24. It's not a it's a small detail. But essentially, against workers, I mean raiders, what you want to do is you want to keep your wolves behind your workers, and then if they A move in, they're gonna come in through the workers to your wolves, and that's when you get a surround and you trap the raiders, force them to flash away, that sort of thing. If they are, you know, really good, they're going to be trying to target down the workers instead, one by one. If that happens, what you do is you take your workers. I'm going to unpause so I can look at them, and then just send them to mine over here to get us around on the raiders. You don't have to be too worried about them flashing over to get a scout this early on. I don't think it's really worth it. They're probably not going to do it. If they do, just chase them with the wolves, and it'll be fine. But yeah, so yeah, house on 22 if you haven't been attacked. 26 is fine on this map as well. And then if there aren't raiders, you want to be sending your wolves immediately across the map to see what they're doing. But I'm fairly certain they're probably going to go play racks, so you'll probably have to deal with raiders on this map. And then just, this is a little bit late. So this is the issue with going for the house on 26. You are going to be a little bit supply blocked for a small amount of time. And then after this completes, and when you're at 26 supply or 36 supply, you're gonna these are the last units you're gonna be producing before your third. So at 36 supply, around 220, 250, yeah, around this time, you're just gonna send your worker across to get your third. Obviously, you'll be doing stuff with your wolves probably, and then get a third at this time. So if you're playing against raiders, you want to be very passive until about 36 supply. This is generally, if they're going for one rack, this is generally the time where you're going to have the numbers essentially with your wolves to be able to kind of like A move them and force them across the map, and also take this third base at the same time. So when you are chasing the raiders across, you're just basically going to be A moving and then pulling the weak wolves back. And that's pretty much it. And then you take your third base and you essentially play from there. I'm expecting them to play racks. I'm actually expecting them to play 3 base into 6 racks and just do a really killer timing with six racks on 3 bases. So be aware of that. How I would play against that is you can check out my my games against Weird Rat on Sylvan Charm, where he basically did the same thing. But yeah, I would if I do smell 6 racks, I would recommend going for a really quick Werewolves 10. Oh, you are going to be supply locked here. 30, 38, around 40, as your castle is still not finished. Let me unpause it over here. That's fine. What I would do here is, that's okay. You can stop worker production. You can stop wolf production at 40 and just add more tech. So whether that be fortress to get more dragons, add more dens, get upgrades, anything like that is really good. And then, yeah, and then you should be fine. Or maybe even go for werewolves off of this. Yeah, that's generally what I would do. With your wolves, obviously you want to be scouting. Maybe there's a chance that he goes mech, so I guess we should cover that. If he does go mech, I think this is totally fine, but you want to be getting, after your third base, you want to immediately get an advanced workshop, and then immediately go for a ballista to counter any gyros and or cata drops. So against mech, you'll see that when you get across the map, Just simply third base at the same time, get a ballista and get advanced workshop into ballista, just for and then. So with the advanced workshop, you go for ballista first, and then airship. So that airship ballista is gonna be your anti-air. If you are playing against Beast, which I don't expect Matthew N to do, I would recommend not going for the third base and just going for two base dragons or two base werewolves. Either or. I don't think that's gonna happen though. So I don't think I should really spend too much time talking about it. Yeah, so I expect them to play Rex or Mech, so those are the two options. Okay, so and I guess we should talk a little bit about general army movement and what you should be doing as versus Rax and versus Mech. Versus Mech, essentially, you want to keep your wolves on the other side of the map, basically at all times, except for like a handful of wolves if they are doing cata drops, just to, just to make them not get any free damage. But when I say across the map, you don't want to be losing them for free, of course. You want to delay it their third as much as possible. You want to be annoying as much as possible, but no losing wolves. And basically, the airship ballista is your defense against any air threats, so gyros and cata drops. Against Rax, it's very similar. You're gonna be on the back foot probably. Like it'll feel like you'll be on the back foot. You gotta play really passive early on until you have a critical number of wolves and you're taking your third base. But then once you've got that done, you'll be able to just take map control, especially on this map, where it's a really big map, and you should be able to see what they're doing. But yeah, do be aware of a 6 Rax push, and my recommendation is go for fast werewolves to counter that. Yeah, so if you have any questions, let me know. But I think this is a pretty good overview of what I expect them to play and what I think is the best piece build on this map as well. Yeah, thanks.